Hey guys, this is more of a personal opinion video, but I'm going to be doing my personal top 10 worst presidents of all time. Now, this is not really debatable. At least some of mine aren't debatable, but others you could probably switch in and out very, very loosely. But I think all of the people I selected deserve to be on the top 10. I'm going to be going from 10 to 1. Number 10, Warren G. Harding. I don't think there's really any explanation to be here. It was widely reported that women voted for him because he looked good. That's about it. And he won by a miracle because he did not know what he was doing. The Teapot Dome scandal. I mean, he'd play poker, drink beer all the time. You know, he really wasn't fit to be leader. And then he had a heart attack 2 years into office. And Calvin Coolidge had to come in and really repair anything. And even though he's personally, for me, not that good of a president, he was better than Warren G. Harding. Number 9, this isn't a surprise to anyone, Richard Nixon. He said he'd bring the troops home. Guess what? He didn't bring them home until the very end of his term, really. So that was a... He didn't, and then the whole Watergate. Yes, I know he didn't commit Watergate, but he did attempt to hide it and like cover it up. Not a good look, pal. You shouldn't have done that. I don't think there's really more I need to get into. Number 8, Zachary Taylor. He was illiterate. He really didn't know how to read. He falls under the George Washington and William Henry Harrison and maybe Andrew Jackson moniker of being a great war hero, very, very great leader. Leader, though? Not really. Or leader to lead a nation in the way that America was being led. Great war hero, great leader that way. Other ways, not really. He died from, I believe, bloodletting 2 years into his term in 1850, I believe. He won in 1848. That's when Miller Fillmore took over. Number 7, I have Herbert Hoover. Oh boy, I like his response to the Great Depression. Hey guys, just work harder. It'll get better. It did not get better. He really screwed over a lot of Americans. You don't do that. He's like, hey, businesses, can you like help out the little people? Yeah, you know, basically saying, oh, we're the government, but we're not gonna help you. You know, you could just, just work harder. It'll be okay. It's like, what? Huh? What? Like, you don't do that, and that's why he lost in a landslide in 1932. Number 6, Martin Van Buren, Trail of Tears. I really don't have to say more. He continued Andrew Jackson's horrible policies. Andrew Jackson really wasn't that good of a president, but oh boy was he crazy. And then once Martin Van Buren took over, once Jackson's 2 terms ended, I'm surprised Jackson didn't go for a 3rd term because there weren't term limits until after FDR. I'm surprised he didn't go for a 3rd term, but Martin Van Buren went in there and went straight out to the annexation of the Native Americans. He continued Jackson's policies on that one, and he was the president for the Trail of Tears. And that is a very horrible thing that it shouldn't have happened. Number 5, Woodrow Wilson. You were not allowed to speak ill of the government. That's all I'm going to say about Woodrow Wilson. He was a horrible human being. He was a racist. He screened a birth of a nation in the White House and called it a masterpiece. He's a terrible person, terrible president. He's one of only 2 presidents to make you say, hey, you can't talk bad on the government. Him and John Adams. And John Adams was not a bad president. He wasn't, but he wasn't bad. Number 4, John Tyler. His party hated him so much, they kicked him out of the party. The Whigs hated him so much they kicked him out because he was a Southern sympathizer, and he was really he was a Southern sympathizer in a progressive party of the Whigs. And you had William Henry Harrison die, and then no one really told him that he couldn't be president, and he just assumed presidency. He was the first one to do so, first one to succeed through a president passing away in office or stepping down, and that was him. And he really just didn't do anything. Number 3, Andrew Johnson. And we all know what these next 3 are, the 2 before and the 1 after Lincoln. Just what order? Andrew Johnson, oh boy, what a fellow, pardoning a lot of Southern soldiers and a lot of just not good people. He was a Southern sympathizer, and he was the first president to get put under the impeachment trial. I'm surprised it wasn't Andrew Jackson. Number 2, James Buchanan. Usually he's number 1. Not for me. I'll tell you why soon. James Buchanan's whole response to the nation being divided was, let's ignore it. No, you cannot do that. And that was really poor. Number one, Franklin Pierce. This might be a shocker, but yes, it is Franklin Pierce. Let me explain why. I think Franklin Pierce, I understand what he went through with his son passing away, but you are running for president and you are getting bestowed that honor and that privilege to help a nation, and he spent most of his term just drunk and he didn't care. He shouldn't have ran under the circumstances, and I sympathize with that, and it sucks, but he made that choice to go for president, and therefore he didn't leave James Buchanan with much of anything to do or anything to solve. He sort of said, here you go, here's this plate of terribleness, and James Buchanan was like, well, and then he ignored it. But Franklin Pierce, he's number one. You know, let me know down below what your lists are. Maybe I'll do a top 10 presidents. Maybe I'll do a full list of all 43. Maybe by then my top 10 or worst 10 will change. It's in with my top 10. But until then, you know, thank you for anyone who watched this. I was planning on doing a live stream, but my channel doesn't meet the criteria, so I just did the video of the bottom 10. I was going to do a live stream of all of them. Maybe I'll make one long YouTube video for it, but yeah, here's this one, and thanks guys. Maybe my next one will be for the top 10 presidents.